morning, everybody. Welcome back to my channel. Please excuse me if I'm a little bit awkward on camera. It's been a while. I am so excited. You guys, you have no idea how many books I have accumulated over the past few months, over the past few years, honestly, but especially over the past few months. I just have so many books. I keep adding more and more to my little TBR list, and I've decided it's time. I'm going to start reading. School is over. It's summertime. I'm going to be spending so much time indoors, and I just have no excuse not to read. I also got this adorable little book notebook to keep track of everything that I read, and I've decided to use this as a motivator. I'm going to fill in the first 2 pages with the 2 books that I've already read this year or last year, just to put something in there and get me started, but I need to start getting through these books. I own way too many and I haven't read almost any of them, and it's not okay. I really want to make it a habit. I want to start reading all the time. When I was younger, I used to be able to go through a book in like a day, a week. I would just eat it up, and now I never find the time. But I've also realized that my attention span is absolutely awful, and I need to fix that. I need to be able to focus on something. I need to be able to like get in the zone and just fully immerse myself in something, because I am the world's biggest multitasker and I'm not even good at it. I do my homework while I'm watching a TV show, and it ends up being a thing where I have to rewind the scene 20 different times, or I have to pause to finish like this part of my homework, but then I can't stand being focused on my homework, so I put play again. It's a problem. I'm actually super excited because one of my plans is I would love to start a book club with you guys if you guys want to start reading as well. I have a whole list of books that I want to read this year. We're gonna see how this goes. I'm gonna start just by doing cute little reading vlogs like this one to keep me accountable and make sure that I'm actually reading. And if I can get through like 2 or 3 books pretty quickly, then that'll be my proof to myself that I can do it consistently, and I will start a book club. If you guys like reading, if you guys are interested in the kind of books that I'm interested in, if you guys want to have conversation about it, I would love to do like a monthly or like bi-weekly live chat. I haven't decided exactly how it's gonna work, but depending on how many people are in it, I would love to do like, I don't know, like a Zoom call, or like Patreon probably has its own live feature, so we can all just chat about the book we just read and talk about, you know, all the stuff we learned, all our favorite scenes. I think that would be so fun. So we'll see how this goes. If it goes well, then you guys can keep an eye out for that. I think it would make reading that much more fun if I could do it alongside you guys. For this very first book that I'm starting with, I'm gonna be reading Saving 5 by Amanda Nguyen. She is amazing. I actually just saw her as a keynote speaker at one of my school events, and she was just so amazing, so inspiring, so smart. She is the first Vietnamese American woman to go into space. This book is her memoir. It says A Memoir of Hope, and it's all about her story before she went into space as a civil rights activist who passed a bill in Congress unanimously. It's a very amazing thing she did for SA survivors, and hearing her speak was just really, really amazing, and I would love to hear more of her story. She actually signed the book. She is so lovely. I really, really liked her. So yeah, I actually bought this book from her while I was there, and I thought it would be a good place to start because it's not that long, and you know, meeting her and all the emotion that was provoked from her speech is still very fresh in my brain. So I'm very interested in learning about her story and supporting her in any way that I can, and of course letting you guys know about her and her story, because I hadn't heard about her before that speech. So I think it's very important and a really inspiring message to share. Wish me luck. I will keep you guys updated. I will tell you guys my thoughts and my feelings, and we'll do a little vloggy style week in my life reading, I guess. We'll see how this goes. I'm not a like book YouTuber, and I don't really watch book YouTubers, so I don't know how this goes. I might have to watch some videos to see the best way to do this, but I hope you guys enjoy, and let's get reading. Hi guys, hopefully you can hear me with all this traffic. and with all the people. I wanted to give you guys a little update because I know it's been a little while. I'm on page 81 of my book. It's honestly been even better than I thought it would be. I didn't look up anything about the book before I started reading it, and I had no idea what saving 5 meant. I was actually really confused about that title, and now I understand. It's like she's talking about her 5-year-old self. I didn't realize that it was going to be like 2 stories being told alongside each other. I think that's super cool. I feel like that's kind of a hard thing to do, and she's been doing it so beautifully. Like, it seamlessly goes between the 2 storylines, and it all ties together and makes sense. Obviously, the story has been very emotional so far, but it's been very insightful and sweet, like the lessons that she's talking about and learning about. I kind of wanted to read you guys some of my favorite parts so far, or some things that I thought were really interesting or important. I feel like the way that she's put the story together and the way that she puts words together is so smart. She's obviously a very smart woman. She's an astronaut, but you can just really tell, like, I feel like she's very self-aware, very strong, and I don't know, I'm just really proud of her. I'm not even like that far into the story, and it's just very admirable the way that she handles a lot of the situations that happen in the book, and a lot of the ways that she explains not only her current feelings but her past feelings, and even, like, I don't know, it's like a wisdom that she knows how she's gonna feel in the future as well. Very interesting. But okay, let me find some cool quotes. Okay, I actually decided that last clip was a little bit too loud and windy, so I'm back home and I decided I'm gonna actually read out those quotes that I was talking about now, just so it's not as loud for you guys. I have pulled up the quotes that I was talking about. They all kind of have to do with the same thing, and the reason that I want to point them out is just because they, I don't know, they just really call out to me in terms of, I feel like this is a very healthy way to look at life and the things that happen that aren't so great in your life. I also think it's a very relatable message, especially for artists and creatives, writers, anyone who kind of takes their pain and turns it into art. I know that that's kind of like a cliche thing to say, but to me it's not. I feel like that's kind of my relationship with art and the way that I view, I don't know, like my life's viewpoint. I kind of take it in that direction where I'm like, I'm gonna take anything bad that happens to me or anything that I feel like I can't control and make something out of it that I can control, or make something out of it that I'm going to be proud of and be happy with. And that doesn't fix the issue at hand, but it does allow me to, I guess, put a satisfying or fulfilling, more positive, I don't know if that's the right word, but aspect into this painful aspect of your life. Anyway, let me get into the quotes so that you guys kind of see what I'm saying. The first one is literally on page 9. Like, this is when I first noticed this like thread of a concept. She says, "Time is the great equalizer, brutal fairness sliced into equal pieces. Time spares no one, all gods bow down before it, even death. But there's one thing that wins over time, justice. Justice is so powerful, she bends the moral arc of the universe. If you do not find justice in this life, make it. If the rules..." I can't say this word on YouTube. I'm gonna replace it, but you'll know what I'm saying. "If the rules are stupid, rewrite them." I really like this quote because not even in terms of art, but in terms of world issues or personal battles in your life, it's like, if you don't like this thing or you don't think that it's right or fair, a lot of the times we can't control that, but what we can control is fighting for it to be different. And I feel like, I don't know, in my life I've heard a lot of people falling into the trap of like, well, I'm not gonna do anything because it won't make a difference anyway, or what I do doesn't matter. Like, the world sucks and I'm just one person and I can't make it not suck. And I very actively and passionately fight against that narrative because it's wrong. It just is. I feel like that's a viewpoint that is trained into us to make us think that we don't have any power when we do. And I'm not saying that we can right all wrongs or even fix things within our personal individual lifetimes, but all change has been created because of the courage of the people before us that fought for it. And I think it's really important for us to have a grasp on that, just to understand that we aren't helpless and we do have power, and we should be fighting for what's right and standing up for ourselves. And especially in terms of what she's saying, like, the subject matter in this book is something that affects so many people. What she fought for from an outside perspective seems impossible. but it wasn't. She fought back against a status quo, something that was set in stone, something that was just accepted and just the way things are. And all it took was her determination and courage and effort and faith in her ability to create change that made it happen. I don't know, I just think it's a very special message, and I think everyone should know that they have that power. And again, this doesn't really fix the issue at hand here, but I bet you she probably feels a lot of fulfillment and happiness about the fact that she may have changed things for the better for others. And she got to see it in her lifetime. Like, she got to create change that took effect while she's still here. And I think that's amazing and super admirable. Anyway, the next quote is the beginning of chapter 3. This one's just a little one for the artists, as I mentioned before. She says, "When you change the world, write it all down." This just speaks to me in terms of kind of what I was saying before, where it's like, I personally love to document my experiences. Obviously, I'm a YouTuber. I document almost everything I do on Instagram. I write in a diary. I take my own experiences and I pour them into fictional books, or into music, or into art. And I think most people who are writers or who are artists probably feel that this is a relatable concept. So I just highlighted it because I thought it was cute. And the third one, which directly ties into the first one, she says, "No, it isn't fair, but when fairness fails us, we still have the agency to create our own justice. The change we bring is the consolation prize for our grief." I feel like this is an extension of, or kind of just a different wording of, the concept from the first quote. I especially like the way that she says consolation prize, because it kind of ties into what I was saying with creating the change doesn't fix what happened or the issue at hand, but you've created something good out of something bad. You've turned this bad thing and made it something that can make the world a better place, made it something that can help others, made it something that can mean something and represent something larger than just pain. Anyway, very powerful. I really like the way that that concept is being interwoven throughout the story. I'm only about halfway through, but I'm hoping to be finished with the book by the end of next week. I'll probably touch base with you guys when I'm getting closer to the end, and then at the actual end, to give you the rest of my thoughts. I'm gonna be honest, I haven't been the best at reading this quickly. It's been a few weeks since we last spoke, because I guess I just don't have any discipline. But I'm actually going on vacation this weekend, and I'm going somewhere where I don't have a lot of internet. So I'm hoping that on the car ride there and during my stay and the car ride back, I will get through most of this book. Okay, I'm gonna get back to reading. I will see you guys during the next check-in. I also decided to go ahead and write some notes from the 2 books I read last year when I decided I wanted to start reading again. The first book I read was the 10-year anniversary edition of Milk and Honey by Rupi Kaur. I had read the original version back in high school, and when I saw the design of this edition, I had to get it. As you guys know, raspberry red and this light pink color is my favorite color combination, and I was excited at the idea that she had annotations throughout the poems, because personally I love annotating my books, and I thought it would really add to the experience. I made a note of all the themes I found throughout the book, including stuff like girlhood, womanhood, friendship, as well as things like generational traumas, relationship struggles, self-love, and an appreciation of life, the good and the bad. I really enjoyed this book. I found it extremely relatable as a woman myself who has experienced a lot of the things that are detailed in there. I'm also just absolutely in love with her dedication to being vulnerable, being grateful, and having such a love for life despite it all. Some of my favorite quotes included, "I was not made with a fire in my belly so that I could be put out. The world gives you so much pain and here you are making gold out of it. And how can our love die if it's written in these pages?" There are, of course, many more that I really loved, but since this little notebook only gives me 1 little page of notes, those are 3 short ones I was able to fit on there. The second book I read was Never Let Me Go by Kazuo Ishiguro. Hopefully I'm pronouncing that right. I'm so sorry if I'm not. This is another book I had already read back in high school that I decided to revisit. I absolutely love this book. It's technically sci-fi, but the elements that make it so are pretty hidden throughout the book, so it really reads more like a normal, sweet, coming of age or like slice of life I think might be a good term to use. I've read reviews for this book at some point, and a lot of people really don't like how quote-unquote slow or uneventful it is, since really you're just following the day-to-day life of a few characters and their relationships with each other and their surroundings as they grow up. I, however, really enjoyed this dynamic, and I can definitely see how it can get tedious at times, but I fell so in love with these characters and the story that it didn't really bother me. I think the characters are really realistic in the way that you can see yourself in them, the good parts, and the fact that they have many flaws. They were people I might have been or known in school when I was younger. My favorite thing about it is the relationships between the characters. If there's one thing I take from this book, it is the friendships. They're so beautiful and sweet. This book does a really good job at showing the unique bonds that you can create with the people that you grew up with, because they're the only ones in the world who understand you in certain ways because they were there with you, seeing and doing the same things. You guys kind of grew up with the same experience, so no one can really understand quite like the people that you grew up with, that went to your same school. I also really like how it shows the unwavering loyalty and the ability to forgive that you have when you're younger. Your best friends make these mistakes and have terrible flaws, and you love them anyway. And you may fight with them, but you always somehow end up coming back together. I feel like as we get older, we become a little bit more guarded, more jaded, less willing to trust or forgive, and we keep our circles very small, which on one hand, don't get me wrong, I think is really healthy, and boundaries are really important. You know, there's obviously a reason that we get to be the way that we are. I just think it's sweet to revisit how pure and open your heart is to your friends and to other people when you're a little younger, especially when it comes to friendship. And it honestly inspires me to, as an adult, try to hone back into some of that energy. I also have to compliment the transitions in this book. I think it all flows really smoothly, and every scene kind of rolls into the next one with purpose. Yeah, I don't know. I recommend it as long as you're okay with it being a little slow. And with that, I officially begin my book log, and I will soon be able to add Saving 5. Hi guys, please excuse the silly angle. I'm gonna be leaving for work pretty soon here, so I don't have time to set up, but I just wanted to let you know that I just finished the book. I was gonna give you guys more quotes and thoughts, but I decided I'm actually not going to, just in case you want to read it yourself. I don't want to spoil specific lines that I really liked or what happened. I do want to say it was a very beautiful book. I highly recommend giving it a read. I really enjoyed the ending. I think it was very meaningful and very beautiful, and I'm just, like I said before, really proud of her and her story, her journey, and everything that she did for survivors. I think it's amazing, and I think she's very strong. She's definitely somebody that I look up to now after hearing her speak and reading her book. Anyway, I'm also just very happy to have finished a book since it's the first one I've read all year. I know we're already in August, but I'm gonna make it a goal that I have to read one book per month. I haven't decided what next month is gonna be. I'm kind of trying to decide between this one, Song of Achilles, or The Bell Jar, which I already started at some point. I'm in love with the fig tree analogy. I reference it all the time, so I figured I should read the book that it comes from. I don't know, what do you guys think? Which one should I read? Anyway, thank you so much for watching. I hope you guys are having a wonderful week, and I'm going to try my very hardest to post a video exactly 1 week from now. So I will be seeing you guys next week. Make sure to follow me on my other social medias. They're all Van Lively. I am very active on Instagram as well. And yeah, have a wonderful day. Bye.